So the media have been digging into Doge, which is, of course, the Department of Government Efficiency, and they've been trying to figure out who these dastardly villains are who are concocting this devious scheme to save taxpayers' money. They're very worried about it, the media is. So yesterday, CNN had a report on one of these Doge staffers, and what they discovered is pretty disturbing. This is pretty disturbing stuff. Listen.
So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside Doge. And we looked into his background. And so we found, several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate name, Tesla.Sexy LLC. Which he established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old. Now, this LLC controls dozens of web domains.
So, Kara, you hear this, and you have known Elon Musk for years. So now you look at these young men who are now in data and in the private information about maybe hundreds of millions of American citizens as young as 19, the big balls here that Katie's talking about. Most of them are in their early 20s. There's an exception I'm going to get to in a minute. I'm curious, though, Kara, how well does even Musk know these young men, do you think?
I have no idea. I think there is no vetting whatsoever, as you can see, that's taking place. It took Katie and the really great team. Wired has done an astonishing job here. I could make a joke that's probably why he was hired for all this ridiculous nonsense and other nefarious things. But, there's an expression in technology that's it's a feature, not a bug.
Now, she keeps saying these are unfortunate names. I disagree. I think that they're quite fortunate. I think these names this is quite fortunate. Big Balls, Tesla.Sexy, whatever. It's fortunate because it forces them to say the names. That's what's fortunate about it. Anyway, Big Balls, I might have known. I should have known. Of course, this is the work of Big Balls. When I first heard about Doge and what they were doing, I said to myself, This has Big Balls written all over it. Big Balls is up to no good. Big Balls, that mischievous scoundrel. Damn you, Big Balls. That's what I said. I said that. Here's another interesting fact. I don't know if you knew this, but Big Balls is actually his birth name. That's actually the man's name. His last name is Balls, and so his parents said they named their. What else are they going to name him? I mean, with a last name like Balls, what kind of first name are you going to get? What are you going to call him? Small? I mean, of course you're going to call him the Big Balls. It makes a lot of sense. So I'm glad that CNN is on the case, and they're going to be tracking Big Balls. They're going to be watching Big Balls very closely. From what I understand, Anderson Cooper has also volunteered for the Big Balls tracking team. That's just a report I heard. I heard when. The CNN said they're going to be doing all these reports and looking into Big Balls, and Anderson Cooper said, "I'm there. I'm on it. I'm on it." That's what he said. So I don't know why, but and so they're all going to be watching Big Balls. They're going to be watching Big Balls to make sure they're not going to let. Tell you what, these women and Anderson Cooper, they're not going to let Big Balls out of their sight. They won't. We can be sure of that. So, Big Balls aside, I have to say that. The reaction to Doge and what, when even I have trouble getting through this with a straight face, we know, Mr. Big Balls, it's comedic genius. Man, I don't know when he thought of that nickname, but I like to think that this was some long con on his part, that the whole point of taking on this nickname was just for this. The greatest trolling job of all time in that case. And maybe he didn't know. Maybe when he took on the nickname Big Balls, he didn't know what was going to happen. He didn't know what he was going to do, but he did know. He said, I'm going to take on this name, and then I'm going to do something that forces CNN to report on me. Maybe that's what happened. So I have to say, the reaction to Doge and what Elon Musk and his team is doing has been, of course, very revealing, and we've talked about it. What it shows is that for the establishment, no cuts to the federal government, no spending cuts of any kind are acceptable, because what Doge is doing, this is what it actually means to cut waste and fraud and abuse. It means you have to open the books and go through them line by line and then actually start cutting out all the BS. You have to assemble a team of people who know how to get into these systems and identify the waste and then let them do what they do. This is the way it's done. It's the only way to do it. And it's only shocking to us, or to CNN anyway, and to the left more broadly, because nobody's ever done it. No president has ever actually made any attempt to cut any waste at all. Every Republican has talked about it. None of them have done it until now. And one other quick point about Doge, there's all this hand-wringing about the fact that these are unelected employees who are going in and rooting out this waste and fraud. And just keep in mind, of course, that when all these people complain about the unelected employees, when they defame and slander the good name of Mr. Big Balls, they're utterly full of crap, because the federal government is comprised of literally millions of unelected bureaucrats. Millions of them. So unelected bureaucrats have exercised profound, unchecked, dictatorial control over our lives for decades. So you have these morons that are saying, oh, but these Doge employees, they have so much access to our personal information. Big Balls is looking at our personal information. Yeah, well, unelected bureaucrats have been doing that forever. What do you mean? Like, the only reason that they have access to that information is because other bureaucrats had access to it. So the whole thing is they don't mean it. Like, they don't actually have a problem. They have no sort of philosophical problem with unelected employees having access to all of this kind of supposedly sensitive information, because that has been the case since approximately forever. And then Big Balls gets his hands on it, and all of a sudden it's a problem. All of a sudden people got an issue with it. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.